It was a dare for the record books. Anyone who took it was labeled clinically insane by their friends, and it would have to be charted away by a loony bin. But if anyone was insane that way, it was Thomas Schwartz, known as Tommy to his friends. He was not only volunteered to do it, but he was going to do it alone. Standing in the driveway was the Neversaran house. He stood confident, his eyes swifted from window to door, seeking out any weakness. If he was scared, he didn't show it, ignoring the cheers of his complices. He advanced his way towards his opponent. The sound of the lawnmower hitched a ride in the breeze, engulfing the children as they had been positioned. The driveway found itself losing a war with the grass. The boundary where it separated became unclear. Tommy didn't notice this, but his mind was focused upon opening his goal, which is why he lay ahead. Cicadas argued with each other while the birds sang the aria of summer. But all this was lost as Thomas, as the wood steps underneath, they moaned as they effort to supporting him. With the doorbell non-functioning, no welcome accompanied him. Tommy pried the screen door open, who had been some complaining to do, and reached to the brass knob. His thumb began pushing down the lever with its breath in anticipation. His friends had ceased their cheers and merely stood where it was safe, letting the sun extract sweat from their pores. Even the birds and cicadas had paused their conversation to study him. The door wailed as it allowed him entry. Again the house engulfed him. Within the door between his friends and him, the fear crept into his face. The path being close to a schoolyard legend hasn't been the easiest. Nothing had shambled into the light clanking chains. Not that it would elevate Thomas's fears. His goal resided in the second story. The faster he made it there, the less likely he would end up being killed by horrors of unknown. With every fiber of him resisting him, Thomas advanced through the house. The echoes of his footfalls seemed to resonate throughout the entire house as they collided with the carpet that had cushioned in the heads of the three families that lived there. Upon passing the foyer, the three sheet figures assaulted his vision, making him leap. However, the furniture did not attack, perhaps not hungry for small children. His heart safely descended from his throat. Thomas had reinforced his nerves and began walking again. The stairs curved at the sharp turn and near the middle. The small groan issued from Thomas as the nightmarish scenarios began to play in his mind. The fact that his particular staircase was used as a bowling alley for severed heads didn't exactly appeal to him either. No ghost could comprehend the TARDIS of these teases of his fellow colleagues, however, so the staircase was only a minor nuisance. With each step, Thomas's muscles tightened further, trying to vein to prevent the inevitable. His eyes forced his head to turn around the corner, his bowels bracing for a release. Nothing came at him. Nothing upon opening erupted from the hallway. There was nothing disemboweled him, and gouged his eyes out with extraordinary non-existence, ignoring the snakes and squirming in his bowels. Thomas approached the far door on his right and made the final destination. Tommy couldn't decide whether or not the doors in the doorway were being closed all the way were a blessing or a curse. Shifting his horrors may lurk the unfolds of the unknown, but since he didn't attack, he didn't even bother with spooking himself. The goal was to get close to the site and to chicken out. Thomas stretched his hand out to the doorknob of the final room. As he did so, a doorknob shrank from it. Yet another door yielded him, and he entered the room. It cursed the painting onto the far wall, as expected him, beckoning him closer to itself, as it had done to many others. The painting didn't seem like one who would devour the sanity to so many innocents. In fact, it has been rather innocent itself. No pentagrams or monsters of any kind. The moon's one winking eye yet felt playful to Thomas, and the row of the neat houses made him yearn for his own. No spade crawled into the bore of his flesh. No clanking chains found their way into his soul. Thomas even forgot what he was supposed to frighten him. But about the house, as he turned to go, he stole one final look at the painting. He smiled as he was ready to rejoin his friends outside. Thomas Schwartz was never found. The children had urged him to do it, waited with all the patience they could muster, for the light deepened orange over the horizon. Eventually, each found their own paths to their houses and mothers, while Thomas's began to worry. None of them talked about what they occurred, not between themselves, and not to the police when they interrogated them. When the house was demolished a year later, there was no painting depicting a winking moon amongst the rubble.